So next we're going to add in a curve that will be the driving path for the vehicle. Before I do that, I want to copy paste the ground and rotate it around because we need a little bit more ground to cover here. So let me pick 2 in a row, L, delete, 1, 2, shift space, shift B, and now I can press D, right click drag to get your size, and just make some kind of a terrain. Shift click to smooth it out. Okay, let's get out of that, and I'm gonna make a new layer, N, and let's name this layer drive curve and put this all the way up top. And now I'm gonna press this button up here, the model button, so I can get my tools, and let's grab a curve. If you don't see this curve, just hold down and then select the curve. So now I'm going to go to top view, control space top. Let's start the curve about here, then here, here, and kind of evenly spaced out. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so now let's grab the main controller, and since this can go anywhere, I want to try to attach it to the curve. So I'm gonna drag in polygon mode, just move this curve up so it's about even with the main controller over here. And then now pick the main controller and then the curve. Hold down control and click the curve, and I'm gonna go close that, and let's check path. Okay, so now the main controller and the whole vehicle is stuck to the beginning of that path. If I open up with the plus, I can see my path constraint, and we can drag it along like that. And you can see it says it's a path percentage. So that's what we're going to be animating. So let's bring it back down to 0 and make sure that the timeline is all the way off to the left side on 0. And then you can click the little circle. It'll turn red, which means it's being keyframed right now, or it's being animated. So now all we have to do is change our timeline over to the other end, 120. And type in, I'll say 80%. Okay, so let's press number 5 and the question mark key, or backslash, or sorry, forward slash, I don't know, the one next to the shift key. But you should see our truck animating, which is great. Let's go to top view. The only problem is the wheels are not steering yet. They look kind of stiff. They're just straight. So let's work on that next. Next, we're gonna repeat the same process we did here with the main controller with the steering controller. So in item mode, select the steering, then select the drive curve, and then go down to modifiers, and then click path. So now this steering controller is stuck to the path. We're going to go to properties, path constraint, change the path offset to 10%, or actually let's try let's try 8. And then the path percentage, I'm going to make sure I'm all the way at 0. Press the circle to animate it, and then bring us all the way to 120 on the bottom, and then type in 80%. So these both both the steering and the main controller should be the same path percentage. Alright. So once that's good, we can move on. And ignore the wonky wheels here. This is from another step, but we'll cover that soon. So let's go down to the bottom to this workspace and switch it to steering. And we should have our old setup here from before, which means whenever we move the steering controller, it should turn the wheels. this locator up here. But we're going to be trying something a little different now. So what I want to do is get this locator. So that's main controller, right? Actually, I can show you what's going to happen here. So here's our main controller, which is the body controller. Here's our steering controller, the one that's leading the main controller. And then we're going to use a third one that's just offset a little bit to the left of the body controller. And we're going to measure the angle between these three. So if I hit measure angle, that'll give us the angle between the body and the steering. And as we play, the angle changes, and that's how we'll control the wheels using that number. Okay, so let's close this. And where were we? Okay, so now I need to make a locator. So just click locator, and it's all the way back here. But I can shift select the main controller, and if I'm in setup tab, I'm also in setup tab up here. Setup. I can say match item position. That's one, and then the rotation is a little bit off, so I can say item rotation, and then that's it. So now I'm grabbing that new locator. Just use move tool. Make sure you're in Alt X to go into local action center. That way when we move it, it'll stay on that same axis. So just move this off to the left a little bit, and also make sure to parent this into the main controller so that it follows. So let's drag it into the main controller. Let's call this steering loop angle finder. So now when we play, so 5 question mark, that locator should follow along with the main one. So we got the 3 points to get our angle. So let's stop it and Shift A to zoom in. So I need to bring in all 3 of these. So let's select this locator, go to channels, and I want let's go down. I want world position, so I'm just going to drag world position in here, and it gets the locator plus world position. Let's select this one, same thing, world position, drag it in. Okay, and then steering, same thing, world position, drag it in. Okay, so I'm gonna break off this line here because we're not going to use that anymore. And if I want to remove this stuff, I can just click on it, right click, remove node. Oop. Okay, if that happens, just re-drag in world position. Okay, so now it's a little bit cleaner. And with these 3, we're going to use that same old measure angle. So go up to add, and it's under measure, and then measure angle. So remember, with measure angle, position from is kind of the corner of the angle. So this is the corner. So this is what we're measuring out from. And then position A, I'll just say is the steering, and then position B can be the angle finder. So there we go. It's already showing up. As long as you have measure angle selected, it'll show the number. And then press 5 and question mark, and you should see those numbers moving around, right? Good. So now the trick is we have to get this number, which is angle output, and convert it into something that the steering rack can use. So let's move all these, oops, over a little bit. Alright, so let's connect the angle output up to our basic math, and let's just see what's happening right away. So it looks like the wheels are going nuts, right? So let's try to fix that. So the angle output, as you can see on value A, that's 87, and we need to add in a subtract here. So let's go click the line, add math, and I'm actually going to use an add, and value A is 87, value B I'm going to put negative 90. Now this is the same exact thing that we did to find the body roll angles, but we're just using it again. So now that looks at least straight or more reasonable. So let's try playing it and see. And it looks like the wheels are a little bit going the wrong direction, right? If I go to top view, when it's turning, it's responding but opposite. So let's grab the second basic math, which is a multiply, remember, and let's pause for a second. So when we were using that locator originally, we had it as a negative multiply. So in this case, I think we need to change that to regular positive multiply. So now we can at least be going in the right direction when we're turning. But it looks like the wheels are, I mean, they're turning, it looks a little bit drastic to me. So I'm gonna stop it and maybe half of this. So 0.6 or 0.7. So let's try that. Okay, that's looking a lot better, I think. We can even just kind of pause it in certain points and see, does that look reasonable? It's not bad. We can also change the position of this steering locator if we go back to the path constraint inside it, and you can always adjust that offset, which I guess changes how far ahead the wheels can predict the path. So maybe if we're just pretty close to where the wheel actually is, let's see if that's any better. It's not bad. I think that, so it's pretty subtle here. Maybe a little bit more on the multiply. So let's pause. Change that value to 0.9. So this is all just trial and error and going by eye pretty much, so it's up to you. But I think this is fine for now. Another thing you can do is grab a camera. So let's say we go to camera view, control space, camera. Here's our camera. I'm gonna frame up this truck a little bit better, like that. And then I'm gonna drag it into the main controller. That way it'll follow the truck. So now when we press play, let me turn off the locators. Control 1, toggle locators. Okay, so let's play. See what that looks like. Pause. You can adjust the camera. and then unpause.